After beating Tower of Eternal Suffering as my new hardest tower, let's just say I was a little bit overconfident about my skill. So, with the very recent release of it, I decided to make my next journey the Citadel of Wacky Strategy. This was a fairly sudden decision I made, so I had absolutely no idea what I was going in for. Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special video. Why? Because today I'm gonna be doing a tower that has been my hardest for 6 months until I beat my first soul crushing. That being the Citadel of Wacky Strategy, which is probably the hardest non-soul crushing tower in the game. So I have been so excited to do this. I've been wanting to do this video for months. I'm not joking. This is one of my favorite videos that I'm probably gonna release. I hope you enjoy it as well because, yeah, if you go ahead and take a look, this Citadel it's big. Like, really big. Here's the portal with 2 low poly cows in front of it. Yeah, this is 25 floors of not hell, but completely consistency skill-based gameplay. There's no length indication, but the Citadel's really long. It takes multiple hours to do a run. So I hope I and you have got some time. So, let's get into it, but I can't just straight up start playing it. I actually have to practice because the later floors are really difficult. So you can actually go ahead and now take a look at how I practice things, because I never show this type of stuff. This Kiabi is actually not that hard, but when you actually get up here legit, you have some nerves. Yeah, it's not too bad. The real stuff I've gotta be practicing lies right up here. Oh, this floor. Yeah, this is the most infamous outside in the Citadel. Well, actually, these first challenges aren't too bad. The one I should actually be practicing is this one. This is the one I have probably the most trouble with. This used to be way harder, but yeah, I'll talk about stuff. Actually, I think now is a good time to talk about this because when I'm actually gonna be here, I'm gonna be dead silent because I will be focusing like I've never focused before. This is probably like the second hardest challenge of this outside. Yeah, once you get the button, it's relatively fine. This one's easy, and then there's also this one. Yeah, this is... Nerves help with that kind of stuff. That does not happen if you're on an actual run. And if it does, then... yeah, that would suck a lot. Okay, now we've got this dizzying section that somehow I've never failed before. Oh, also another thing. This footage is not just gonna be me playing it. I have ancient footage from last summer when I was actually trying to beat this, so I'm gonna put that in the video as well. Hopefully that's kind of exciting. So this part is kind of... I had to figure this out myself, because just jumping randomly didn't work for me. I think they might have nerfed it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, what I do here is I go on the sides that spin forward, so I actually like get a momentum boost. This is probably the hardest jump on the outside. Like, I am surprised they didn't nerf that when they did a fairly recent nerf patch that, in my opinion, was completely unnecessary and should never have happened. But yeah, that's probably everything for the outside. This outside section is still not that easy. This used to be absolutely brutal, but I loved it. I don't know why. I absolutely, love hard and punishing sections like this outside used to be. This is probably the hardest jump. And after that, these are failable, but I don't think they're gonna be that bad. I've been here several times and yeah, of course I'm nervous, but like, I haven't done anything that stupid, so hopefully today that there won't be a first time. Okay, now this part. If you fall here, you are dead. You are straight up dead. There's no saving yourself. It's fairly short, so there's not much to worry about, but yeah, falling here is absolutely lethal. There's no saving yourself. I have trouble with doing wraparounds when I'm nervous and because I get shaky and then it's hard for me to like smoothly turn around. Like this jump, when I'm actually here, it's so much harder because of just being nervous. Other than that, this outside's not too bad. This jump is not great. If you get stuck in there, you're probably gonna die. Oh, and this thing. Walking on that is quite the hard timing. Anyways, I don't think there's anything that necessary to practice after this, other than, of course, like, the final keyhole, but I've done this several times, so yeah, hopefully it doesn't go too badly. Also, I'm pretty sure I used like a never-seen-before strat here. Getting in here is so inconsistent for me, so I just do this. And I've done this on a legit run, like actually. You see my point, like, getting in this thing is extremely awkward, and I've gotten situations where I literally got rotated, like my character rotated a certain amount of degrees. Like, look, I literally can't get in, so I can just jump like that. Also, this last jump, you do yeah, like that. Wrap around the X-Pusher. You don't need depots. I'm not gonna do it with depots because I try to make my guides as accessible as I can, so people who can buy depots can also, yeah, this jump, the last one. I've never failed this, and honestly, I sort of understand why people would. It's just, you're this far in, you're extremely nervous, so yeah, you might accidentally tap a little bit too early or too late. Anyways, that was pretty much everything I wanted to practice, so let's actually get into this right now. So, floor 1 is extremely short. You'll notice a lot of similarities with Citadel of Laptop Splitting and this one. This is literally Colz's big brother or something. It's just a lot longer and a lot more difficult. Also, while going through this, I'm gonna give you a couple of fun facts about, like, the unnerfed version of the Citadel, because on release, well, not on release, but when it was actually released into the ring for bug testing, this was soul-crushing by far. They overshot the difficulty so much. yeah, so the first difference was those turrets down there were teleporters, and if you touch them, it took you into this box. You might notice this box over here and go like, why is it there? Well, that's also because this turret here was a teleporter, and it shot much more frequently. Now it just deals 50 damage. It's not too bad, because there's not many kill breaks after it. But yeah, these first floors are basically just an intro. You don't actually, like, start until 14, which is... For being floor 14 of a Citadel, you get there very quickly. Because, like, floor 14 in Coles is, like, you're super far in, but floor 14 of Cows is, like, where an average run would get to... Where just an average run would get. Also, these first floors are, like, super old. You can look at old Gauss screenshots from, like, 2019, and the gameplay will look exactly the same. Oh yeah, this jump's also, like, sorta hard. And this one as well. I failed that a couple of times, but if you do fail it, it's not much of an issue, because floor 2's really short. Plus, you also got, like, the key and button, so... Yeah. This jump, however, I should have practiced this. Okay, nice. Sometimes you can, like, flat side on this tilted brick, or you hit your head and you don't make it, so... You fall back to 2. Which just takes a bit of time to get back. This part used to have a soft lock below it, but thankfully it was removed. I think you can tell who made this floor by the fact that it had a soft lock, and by the fact that it's also super old. Wait, yeah, still not that much to talk about, so... That button, like, activates T-Sports down here, but I have no idea what the purpose of it is. In the Unnerf, there was also, like, another completely random button there that... Once again, I have no idea why. Okay, this part, I have never failed this before, genuinely. So, hopefully, I don't fail it right now, because it's not that hard. It's just some basic wraparounds and stuff. Okay, good. I love when people make X-pushers that you can just ride on and then you'll smoothly get to the end, like you won't hit a brick. Like, as a tower creator, I know exactly how you prevent it from happening, even if, like, there's a wall in front of it, but, like, some people just don't bother. Also, this part, you gotta heal here for a bit, so... If you don't mind me using healing items to, like, skip waiting time, then... Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, because healing's boring. I think the actual point of healing items was just to skip the amount of time it took for you to heal. But yeah, people use them to avoid death narrowly. I'm also guilty of that. There have been several instances where I've been far on a tower and I would have died for sure if I hadn't used healing items. I'm not quite sure about the argument to make them boost items. Like, I get where they're coming from, but I don't think they're significant enough to be boost items. Like, maybe a thing that would help is, like, the win message saying that he used healing items, but sort of like the force field orb. But it's not classified as a boost item, you won't get, like, blocked from reaching the win pad. Also, once you get here, you're pretty much good. This part's completely netted. There's not much to worry about, so yeah, just take your time. Well, there were things to worry about back in the unnerved version of the Citadel, because falling here took you back to free. Like, for some reason, they just didn't place a teleporter there. Also, you can just fall off after you get that button. There's no deactivator. I just did it to do it the way it was intended. Oh yeah, also, there used to be a part here which was actually, like, not bad. I have no clue why they removed it. Now, here's a little puzzle for you. You have to find the right key. Can you guess which one it is? Yeah, it's the right key. Of course, the sign literally said it's the right key. How could anyone fail that? Now we get to the dark floor, sort of. This floor has light around you, but you're supposed to do this and then, like, jump off, but I just find it easier to just wrap around. It's a cool mechanic, but yeah, they kind of failed with making it required to progress. You can also jump from here to there, but, like, why? Just wait a bit and it'll be so much easier. Yeah, if you're quick enough, you can jump straight to there, but I don't want to take this too quickly because, I don't know, it's nice to sit here and record and just talk about things. I've been thinking about live streaming for a while, and honestly, I'd love to do it, but I have several issues. First of all, like, my internet is just not good enough. And, like, second of all, I don't think actually many people would be there. Okay, this jump, I just straight up skipped that and jumped straight to there, because squeezing under that ceiling onto the one stud is annoying. It's really annoying. Those are just simple walk-arounds. Oh yeah, failing at any point here will send you back to the start of the floor. Not too bad, honestly. I mean, it's much better than, like, getting soft-locked. Sometimes I take a bit on this first part of the Citadel, but that's because I'm, like, having a bad day or something. Okay, this is relatively hard to see with the winter lighting, so hopefully it doesn't mess any more stuff up. Alright, we've made it to 6. I have mixed opinions on this floor. To me, it's just a little bit annoying, so yeah, sorry, Blocker. I think Blocker is the one who made this floor, but I'm not sure. Here's another puzzle. These lighter parts make you fall through them, so you have to fall here. And now you gotta get a button. Progress. And the same thing applies here. Those darker parts are Gankalite falls, so avoid them. For this part, you just gotta look at the shadow, but you can just look under. But I do this part while looking at the wall just to be safe. Now you gotta jump on these one studs, and then onto these kill bricks. They're still, like, differently colored, so just pay attention to which ones are dark. This used to be a ladder that was also invisible, but yeah. Oh my god, I have never done that before. Okay, good. Now just don't fail that. Some people actually go into the kill bricks and jump off the exposure here, but I don't like taking that much damage. Alright, we've made it to 7. This floor's... Actually, it's not a break yet, there's still some relatively hard stuff here. Well, hard in terms of beginning standards. The Citadel actually gets super hard at floor 19. Actually, maybe 18, but... I've never had that much trouble with 18. It's a lot better now, especially, well, not better, but like a lot easier now, especially after the nerfs. Now you gotta aim in between the kill bricks, or you'll get hit in the head. Well, not in the head, you'll just get bounced off. That might happen if you fall from a section above and you land on the wrong part of the elevator. Also, sort of fun fact, the first time I played the Citadel, that was the unnerfed version, because I was not at home and I was on my really crappy laptop, so the actual in-game cows just lagged a lot, and the unnerfed place didn't. The only differences people told me was that floor 19 outside was completely different. Okay, this is what I'd call a break floor. Not much happens here. The gameplay isn't that complicated. Yeah, as I said, these first floors are just an intro for the Citadel, kind of like how the first 4 floors of Calls are. They're just stuff you do before you get to, like, actual parts of it. These ladders are not that easy, actually. I've failed those before. Most of my fails on these floors happened when I was trying to beat it for the first time. Because, yeah, my hardest was Eternal Suffering back then. What I found extremely funny is that probably last year, I think, Alert made a video about his best towers in Ring 2 ranked, and the part that made me laugh was when he said that when he was talking about cows, like, as a TOGF victor, he enjoyed it a lot, but then he gave a literal example. He literally said that if your hardest is like Eternal Suffering and you're trying to beat this, you wouldn't find it fun. So, the funny thing about it is, that was literally my situation, and I loved the Citadel. I absolutely loved the grind. Also, if you can't tell what's happening here, I'm trying to move this thing so I can... so I can make that jump. Okay, thank God, because that would have taken me to 6. Will you be able to pass the 1-star rap trials? Yeah, if you thought that was gonna be normal, then you were wrong. This part is really funny. Thank you so much, Blocker, for making it like that. Yeah, he made this floor, I think. I'll give, like, credits to each person who made the floor on the floor info cards. Which, also, if you wanna know where those are from, if you remember Banana, he used to do these music cards, and I just sort of went off of that, but I gave him more information about the floor, like where I'd put it as difficulty and how long it is. Big green. This is red and this is green in case you're colorblind. Which I'm not, and I'm kind of thankful for that. I feel bad for some colorblind people because they just don't get to enjoy as much of this world as other people. Alright, we've made it to 10. So this floor starts off relatively easy, but there's one jump here which is a nightmare. It's this one. Okay, good. You have to, like, sort of climb on it, but also wrap around, and you can get flat-sided because the part's rotated. Anyways, now just enjoy the ride. And here's the key part. So, if you don't know what this is, usually if you fall on the Citadel on an outside, you're screwed, you're soft lock. The Citadel's raised off the ground, so you can't corner clip in. And, well, corner clips were patched, so yeah, getting this key will prevent you from getting soft lock, and it'll also serve as a fast pass to floor 10. Alright, I'm gonna focus for a bit so I don't fail. Good. I failed it once and it was painful. Yeah, now you'll get this key and this other button, which just activates the staircase, and here it is. Use this teleporter to skip the first few floors instantly. At first, it'll take you back here, to be fair, of course. Why would it take you to the start of 10? But yeah, afterwards it does take you to the start of 10, so you have to do that one annoying jump again. Oh yeah, since this is a classic tower, there's a lot of unindicated trap, which... This tower, or well, Citadel, here's another one. You just start falling. This Citadel is so hard that people shouldn't complain about those, because you pretty much have to practice this, unless you're like a sight-reading god. So here's like an 11 stat, which I have failed before. This is sort of a break before it starts getting difficult. Here's like a small Easter egg, the weird couch. This is why it's weird. Yeah, this is not comfortable at all. Okay, now you've got this part, which is netted, but once you press the button, not anymore. People use this to fall down to the dropper and do the dropper skip, which thankfully is patched now, because that was really, like, unfair. Also, yeah, once again, darker parts are Genkolite Falls. The floor below me is a conveyor, so if you land on it, try to, like, get back to 11. Here's a slide that I fell off that once, and I have never trusted it since. Like, it just happens once, and never again. That's kind of like the case with, like, accidents happening to people. Like, someone gets in, like, some accident that's, like, really obscure, and then they never do that thing again, even though the odds of the accident happening again are insanely low. Okay, here's a timed part that... yeah, just avoid that spinner completely, jump on the kill bricks. This jump's sort of weird. Just jump late, I guess. There you go. And now it's just zip lines. I hold W here because I got bounced back and fell off the floor once. Yeah, they didn't fix every single bug if it wasn't, like, clear. Floor 13. Welcome to the halfway point. That's sort of a lie. The floors later on are a lot longer, so I'd put the actual halfway point on, like, floor 15. Anyways, yeah, this is, like, the open floor. You can enjoy the view, sort of. I mean, you're higher than any other tower in Ring 2, but still not the highest point. This part, I wait for the speed to apply, and then I just scrap. Oh, and the X-Pusher stops on that kill brick. It's probably easier to see with normal lighting. Oh yeah, I do that part like that. I just jump off immediately and then climb back on. That ladder's, like, sort of weird and it can drop you sometimes. And now you've just got a tightrope part. That jump's sort of hard, but afterwards it's fine. Okay, welcome to 14. This is the floor that ended my first run. Yeah, I got here and after, like, trying to do a serious run for the first time, and I stopped. This is where the loop failing starts. Well, not so much now, because 15 has a net, which is just such a dumb nerf. It's like... it's not even that punishing if you fail it. Why would you net it? But, like, yeah, this is where the loop failing would start. The process just was like, I either got a run that was all the way to 19, or, like, after that, or I basically loop failed 13 through 16. Now, these jumps are still fairly hard, so be careful. Here's, like, a wall hugging section that I do in a weird way, but it's safe for me. Yeah, now you're above the net. I don't know when the nerfs were made, but beforehand, if you fell, you would fall through the floor onto the roof of 11. Also, coincidentally, while I'm recording this, it happens to be the 14th of January, which is the deadline for the Silent Abyss contest. And that contest is the reason I haven't uploaded in such a long time, even though I said that videos would probably be faster in my Cole's secret ending video. Yeah, I just took a lot of time on making the tower for that, and I failed because of multiple reasons. But like, I've seen some really cool stuff for that sub-realm, so yeah, hopefully everything that like deserves to get in actually gets in, and hopefully it doesn't fail like Paradise at all, where it's just awful gameplay, but the lobby looks extremely good. It's gonna be fun to look back on this video and see like how my thoughts were and what my predictions were. Okay, this part here is a conveyor, so just jump over it. Oh, and this jump here is kind of odd. Now you gotta jump on that, yeah. Lighter parts are again delightful. It alternates between lighter and darker. Oh, here's the YOLO jump. Okay, made it to 16. You can jump like that, don't need to squeeze in between. This jump is... yeah, that jump's scary. And now you can actually like go up here as I went right now. I don't know which way is easier, I prefer going up. Yeah, a lot of parts of the Citadel used to have like this weird inlet platform. Oh, here's a shortcut, but I'm not doing that. Yeah, a lot of parts of the Citadel used to have like these weird inlet parts that basically moved you up when you went inside them. It's sort of like the one-way parts in Cole's and Co had, but like a bit weirder, I'm not sure. Okay, once you get this, you don't need to do that start again. You can just head over here. So, on release, those platforms which were removed, but in turn, that made some jumps stupid. There used to be one jump on 17, which was nerfed, that was genuinely like a terrifying jump. Now we've got an outside here, which is netted because you're over the roof of 14? Yeah, 14. Fun fact, floor 14 in this Citadel is the exact same color as floor 14 in Cole's. You can point out a lot of similarities like that, even though it just might be, like, what's it called? Confirmation bias, yeah. Where we just ignore the things that aren't similar. Yeah, this thing's a conveyor that's like as fast as your walk speed. Okay, this X-Pusher used to be super funny because it was server-sided, so people just moved it like this and it prevented anyone from progressing. Also, do this backwards, because if you do it forwards, you're gonna climb on it. The old X-Pusher used to be also taller, which is like, oh my god. Just like, why did they make it smaller? It was literally more annoying, less annoying to jump off. This is the first floor that I had like real, genuine trouble with. That was because of this jump. This didn't used to be a truss. This was a ladder that was one stud, like this. And it was a nightmare. I failed that jump so much. But honestly, difficulty spikes like that are just the icon of this Citadel. It's what makes cows cows. And once they were removed, like, yeah, it helped with the balancing, but it's just kinda made me sad. We've got... Oh my god, I am so dumb. Well, see you in a bit, I guess. Yeah, that's what happens when you're talking and not focusing. Sometimes I just go on autopilot. Also, here's a small skip that you can use to skip that speed part completely. It makes this jump harder, but it's still not too bad. What's chat up to? DODC? Surprisingly, that was not the next tower I beat. I could have stayed in rank 2, which basically would have given me 3 hardest towers in a row that were in rank 2, which would have been funny, but no, I didn't do that. I beat a different tower as my first soul crushing, which you're gonna see a video on that soon, since this was my hardest before that. And while I do have a footage of like some citadels I beat before that, it's really old and I'm not bothering recording it again. I've been kind of thinking of a completely different style of videos, which is basically like I randomly pick a bunch of towers and then I just beat them on video. Like, I'm not gonna do one-by-one guides on every tower. No, that's boring, and also that would require me to actually beat the tower beforehand, so why not just share my experience of beating it? Oh, no, oh my god. Yeah, this is the cow's experience summed up for you. The early grind is just loop failing the first actual set of harder floors. Oh yeah, this is where the teleporter takes you. Okay, I'm gonna give a super hot take that literally got people to make fun of me in tower development when I said this, but I think the last change they should have made to the Citadel is making that teleporter take you to 10 instead of 6. Because like 6 through 9 they're fine to do, but they would be boring to do on repeat, so yeah, that was overall a good change, but any nerfs afterward were unnecessary. Dare I even say it, this Citadel was peak RAM on release, and the current version is high peak RAM. Not insane in the slightest. I literally do not understand. Actually, I sort of do, but that's basically their fault for not being consistent with long towers. Like, even I, back when my hardest was Eternal Suffering, I thought this was not insane. You might be like, but Blocks, you haven't even beaten an insane while you were trying to beat this. Yeah, well, so what? I beat one afterwards, and I still think the grind to... Yes, the grind to beat this took me longer, but it just wasn't as hard. The main reason it took me so long to beat this was just because of how long it is and because of my skill back then. Also, since I'm on the easy floors, a little bit of a story time for you. So one morning, I just got ready for school when I went to the bus stop, and I got on the bus as usual. 10 seconds later, I hear like a straight up, like a huge crash. I don't know how to describe it. It was just like a really loud bang. And I was like, what the hell was that? So I look over, and the entire windshield is completely like cracked. It looks like it's covered with cobwebs or something. So I was like, really? Right when we're about to have a test, on the first period of that day, the bus has to crash. So I wasn't the only one on that bus. It was me and my classmate, and his friend. So we got off the bus, and he's like, yeah, I don't think we have enough time to get to school, because it was like, we start at 8, and it was Probably like 7:35, I don't know. I don't remember exactly. So it would either be really close or we would get there late. But the thing is, I walk fairly fast, so yeah. When I realized that it was not gonna take 20 minutes, I was like, yeah, I'm coming to school late, so the teacher might get mad. So we're just making our way there, talking about random things. Yeah, I mean, what else are you supposed to talk about with a new classmate who you've only known for a couple months and you don't talk that much? We just talked about random stuff. And eventually he called his friend, and he just said that, like... He just said that, oh yeah, can you tell the teacher that me and Blocks, well, he obviously said my real name, but sorry, I'm not telling you my real name, privacy exists. Yeah, can you just tell the teacher that me and Blocks are gonna come late because the bus crashed on the way to school. And he's like, what the hell, that would only happen to you. So, yeah. That's not the end of it, however. As it turns out, one of my other classmates was also gonna take that bus, but he ended up missing it, so he took another bus that already would have gone into school super late. And that bus got stopped where the other bus crashed. So we pretty much, we slowed him down. And then he got to school at like 8:05. Okay, enough storytelling, I'm gonna focus so I can actually get far again. Alright, made it back to 17. Hopefully I can actually pass the floor now. Thankfully, this floor does have a net around most of the hard part. Most of? Yeah, that doesn't apply anymore, but that was one of the jumps which wasn't netted. And yeah, the only hard stuff left is like this wrap here, but that's still not too bad. Okay, nice, made it back. Now just don't be an idiot. That's literally all I'm asking you to do. This jump is hard. Yeah, and this used to be, I think it... No, that used to be a 12 stack. Now it's 11, I think. Okay, time for the dropper. Better prepare yourself before you enter. That basically means heal, because... Oh, the music broke there. There's a lot of kill bricks in this thing. Here we go. Here's a healing spot. I'm gonna try to do this without healing items, and I'll use them if I absolutely need to. This next part is actually memory-based, because if you go on the wrong side, you're gonna get stuck. So it's front and then like right. But because of the lighting, I can't see when I should hold W. Alright. Get ready. Oh hell yeah, perfectly timed. Alright, so now you're on this part. If the timer expires, or ends, why did I say expires, you get teleported back up. But not in this outside. Don't fail here or you're gonna fall off. Completely. Well, that's how my first attempt at the dropper ended. Alright, so here you can see me in front of the impossible jump I talked about earlier on 17. This is it. And I fluked the jump, somehow. Anyways, let's cut to the dropper now. Yeah, my nerves basically made me estimate where I would land incorrectly, though I was really close as you could see. Anyway, back to where we left off. Alright, nice. 18. The floors ahead are gonna get more and more difficult. Proceed with caution. Proceed with practice. Which will also learn... You'll also learn the fact that you don't have to do this. This is just a tightrope. I love that troll, it's so good. I wish towers did stuff like that again. But no, if you add in one unindicated thing, it's like, oh, this tower is unsight readable. I hate this. Hard fail, hard fail. Speaking of, hard fail was literally removed. And also, apparently, some absolute, I don't even know what, of a curator wanted to hard fail this. Just, I have no words. Also, this jump is sort of hard. Actually, not sort of, that's a hard jump. And that, I don't think that was nerfed. Also, you'll notice these blocks, if you jump on them, they start shooting out bullets. This is probably the hardest jump on the floor. You gotta, like, climb onto the one stud. Alright, and after this floor is... Oh my god. I could have actually caught myself on the net there. Well, I just have to do the dropper again then. Keep jumping on this thing. And also, do not hold W against the wall. It's literally gonna move it, so... it'll make you fall off. Only do it here to actually position it so you can jump there. This thing, just take it slow. Don't worry about the kill brick. So, wanna see how my first run on 19 went? And that was the furthest I got in that run. What followed was once again more loop fails, not even getting past floor 17. Anyways, back to where we left off. In terms of progression. Welcome to the hardest and most infamous floor of the Citadel. This floor has you go on a button hunt, kind of like floor 5 of Calls, except this time it's significantly harder with even more buttons. This floor has always felt extremely intimidating to me, especially when I was first trying to beat it. The hardest part of doing it, in my opinion, is managing the stress of being this far, especially later on. All of the jumps can be easily messed up if you aren't paying attention. This footage you're seeing right now is actually kind of outdated because of the recent nerfs. I'll point out all of the jumps that were changed. Anyway, I'm gonna let you watch by yourself now. What do you think? Am I gonna make it past the floor, or will I fail? Of course, you could just look further ahead in the video, but wouldn't that ruin the fun? Whatever, enjoy the rest of this run. Yes! 20. Okay, dude. Oh my god, I was so much more nervous than usual. That's because I was recording and I really didn't want to fail that. So, I then went ahead and took a 30-minute long break. This was mainly because I had to go do something, but I also felt like I needed to cool down since when I was on 19 outside, I got much more nervous than usual. Alright, so I took a fairly long break, so hopefully my nerves are now much better and I can actually do the last floor. So, welcome to 20. This is a break floor that's pretty dark. And the goal of this floor is to just go around and activate all of these torches. And once you activate all of them, that's a little bit of a sneaky one. I sometimes miss that one. Once you activate all of them, you can proceed to, like, the next room. The way this floor is structured is that it has 3 rooms. It used to have 4, but the one was removed because it was a bit too hard. And there aren't any more torches in the last room. It's fairly short, but it's a very nice break after the hell that goes on 19. Hopefully, if you're gonna be trying this, you can actually see better, because right now it's the winter event and the lighting is different. I could not imagine this during Halloween. That must have been pretty bad. Alright, here's the last torch of this room. I'll just go across this tightrope. And you're done. Now this is the last room. This room has got one jump that is this one. This jump, hell. It's hell. Genuinely. Like, I don't wanna, like, brag, but I think I'm, like, much better than when I was first trying this. But, like, when I was first doing this, that jump literally failed it, like, 5 times. Also, you can just walk across the kill bricks here. Alright, welcome to 21. This is completely, by definition, a break floor. Enjoy the very, very nice view. You've also got a sign here saying that, welcome to floor 21. This is a break floor, considering you're about to go to the hardest floors of the Citadel. Take the pushing platform if you feel like you're ready. The floor here used to be a conveyor, but they nerfed it. Of course they did. So, the only thing on this floor is this X pusher. Also, you see this pink urchin when an off-topic with a picture. I actually did that back when I was beating this last summer. So, if you're not stupid, you'll just land on that. It's time for the finale of the Citadel. These last floors are hard. They're hard. And be prepared to fall down to 21 a lot, because they're also not very consistent. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that's everything I've got to say. So from now on I'll be quiet, because I really don't want to fail, like, on outside. Thankfully, most of the time, you can actually just go towards the frame and you'll land back on 21, even if you fall on an outside. And on 23 outside, if you're lucky, you can catch yourself on 19. Here's a little troll. And here's another one. Yeah. Sometimes you just forget that's supposed to be like a jump scare because you're so used to it. This part, you can just start climbing here, but I just get on like this. my god! Yes! Oh, I was so nervous. Oh my god. That was literally one of the most stressful runs I've done. Yeah, this taught me that getting this far on a really stressful Citadel while recording makes you so much more nervous. Which makes me honestly kind of scared to record my soul-crushing completions. Well, raiding the Citadel right after beating it was probably not the greatest idea, so I went ahead and redid this entire section. Everything stated after this is my opinion. You will probably disagree with a lot of the things I state, since this Citadel is very controversial. Please do not harass people who dislike this, it's only their opinion and they don't deserve hate for it, even though I joke about that sometimes, but please don't actually. So, for the gameplay, I honestly would say it's not that much above average. Some parts are really fun, and also consistent if you're paying attention and not going off of purely muscle memory. But the biggest issue with the Citadel is probably the difficulty spikes. That's what turns most people away from it. And if it's not that, it's probably the first 10 floors, since they're not that interesting compared to the rest of the Citadel. One thing that I really love about the Citadel is probably the last floors. I absolutely love the adrenaline rush feeling you get from them, and this is also the reason that floor 19 is my favorite floor in the entire Citadel. However, in my opinion, the nerfs done to the later floors kind of made them a lot less interesting, and it's also just sort of embarrassing to compare the unnerfed states and how they are right now. 23 outside was absolutely butchered, and it just doesn't have the same feeling as going through it before it was nerfed. So, taking all this into mind, honestly, I'd give the gameplay a 7.5 out of 10. As I said, I find it pretty fun, but you gotta take the issues into mind, such as the difficulty spikes and also the loop failing. And also, one of the other reasons that I brought it down was, as I said, the nerfs. They just made the Citadel not have the same intense feeling anymore. So now, let's talk about how fun this Citadel is. For me, most of this is really cool and exciting to go through. When I was first grinding this, yes, I loop failed a lot and that was very demotivating, but I rarely found myself getting frustrated. While there were some scenarios where I genuinely just left, that was probably because I was in a bad mood that day. You know a tower is good when you fall and you wanna keep going. That was the case for me when I was beating this. On the other hand, once again, floors 1 through 10 are sorta boring, but it's honestly not that bad. I don't have much of an issue going through them. Honestly, the floors feel like an intro to the Citadel, and if you can't pass those, then you should not be attempting this. Other than what I pointed out though, this Citadel is extremely fun for me, as I said. The best thing about it is probably the fact that going through the entirety of it feels like going on a really long journey. And that's just an average run. Think of how I felt when I was trying to beat this, constantly getting new progress every single session. It was super exciting and just kept me coming back to it. So, taking all this into mind, I'd give the enjoyability a very controversial 9 out of 10. Keep in mind, this is only my opinion. This does not mean that you're 100% gonna enjoy this while playing through it. This is one of the most love-hate things I've ever seen in this game. Most opinions I see on it are either Chaos is one of the worst rems in the game or Chaos is one of the best rems in the game. I rarely see people say Chaos is alright. So, as a final statement, I wanna say this is my favorite Remorseless in JToH that I have completed. It probably has a chance of being beaten, but right now, I absolutely love this. So, that was everything for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video because, wow, this was one of my longest videos that I have ever uploaded. Hopefully some parts weren't boring and that you found it kind of interesting. Anyway, see you all soon. But one more thing, look out for the next JToH video. It's gonna be big.